everybody, how you doing? This is Besson Siambola right here, an author with 5 books to his name. And of course today we're going to have the first episode of Gambling Awareness. And of course I've been joined by somebody I consider to be really important, somebody I consider to be a guru, and I have to say this about him. Whenever this topic that we're about to dive into is a topic of discussion, this man has pretty much seen and experienced it all. So you're gonna hear it for yourself. This man is really knowledgeable. He's got vast knowledge about this topic. So let me tell you a bit about how the whole thing of coming up with the idea of talking about this really happened. So the first thing that I did was I observed to say a lot of youths have been negatively affected by this thing called gambling, where they're focusing on the wrong thing instead of focusing on improving their craft and learning skills that are going to help them in the future. They're focusing on chasing the money, which is not a very good idea, because if that thing proves to be not fruitful, then they're gonna end up in a wrong position. So the good part about like chasing things like a degree, diploma, and all those things is maybe if you get employment, you get fired and stuff, you can still use that paper to get employment again. You search for employment elsewhere. But for gambling, it's a different story. Once like you lose your money, it will be hard for you to gain that money again, because they don't give any paper like that can assist you in the future or anything like that. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the interview. Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm alright, thank you. So how are you feeling right now? How is the weather, knowing that you're about to get into a topic that you have immersed yourself into for a really long time, for a number of years. So yeah, how is the weather? How are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Or are you just in the middle? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, if I am to be honest, I'm actually excited. Yeah, I'm not nervous in any way at all. No.
Okay, that's beautiful. Introduce yourself. Probably people want to know your names, what you're currently doing for a living, or anything else that you feel people need to know about you.
Yeah, so actually I'm Lupiya, a 5th year mechanical engineering student at the College University. And I actually deem this a grand privilege to be part of the interview. Yeah, the grand opening of the episodes about gambling awareness. Yeah, and actually I'm a person who is passionate about sharing my personal experiences, because I know that through them someone can be helped. Because they can say that if this person has been through it and has put through, even those with no hope, or those who have lost hope, they can at least have hope that they can make it.
Oh, awesome. All right. So, Mr. Paul, I remember there was this one time that you visited me by my room, and you're seated by the bed. You sat by the bed, then you got your phone and you started playing one of the most famous gambling games, which is of course Aviator. Yeah. So the man was, you're of course in that kind of tense state, which almost every gambler is in when they're playing. They don't want to lose. They're scared. No, if I lose this money, I'm going to go broke. If I lose this money, I won't be able to afford that shoe. I won't be able to buy myself food for this month, and all those things, all those thoughts. I don't know exactly what you had in mind at the time you're playing. I don't know what was like the motive, what you wanted the money for. Yeah. So when you were playing at that point, in that day state, you said some words that pretty much goes to me. Yeah, like it got me kind of confused. I didn't exactly I understood them, but they didn't exactly make sense to me, because come on, I didn't understand them. You said, I pity gamblers. Their lives are miserable. That's what you said. So please make me understand. How can you pity a group that you are a part of? You get it right? You used to be a gambler at the time you're a gambler, but it didn't make sense to me that you're pitying a group that you are a part of. Probably if you say you pity them, the same gambling is making their lives miserable as you had stated it. It's turning their lives upside down. But how did you keep on being part of that group if you even had the guts to pity the gamblers? Please make me understand, make the people understand what you meant by the statement, I pity gamblers, and what exactly was going through your head when you were saying those words at the time.
Yeah, and I actually think that before I can even answer that question, I would like to first of all talk about the lives of gamblers. Then from there, that's when perhaps I can be able to draw a conclusion that we all might see on the perspective that I saw it from. Yeah, because myself being an ex-gambler, I have experienced it all. The huge winnings, the huge losses, I've experienced it all. Yeah, so, and then what I came to realize is that the life of a gambler is so uncertain. Yeah, because indeed, any normal man who is optimistic about the future, truly they can't invest their fortunes in gambling, because gambling truly has got no, it's not a reliable source, it's not stable, there's no stability in gambling. Like any man who wants to invest in a certain business, first of all they will check the stability of the business, they will see the risk factors and the likes. But when it comes to gambling, gambling has been deluding people. I can say there's a facade to gambling that seems to make the people, I don't know if they become brainwashed. They don't really see it for what it is. Yeah, the dark side of gambling, we mostly don't see it. Because what we gamblers only see is the essence of winning. They only think that they are going to win, they are going to win, and that stage of wanting to win is what makes me pity gamblers, because it makes them to make uninformed decisions. Yeah, they make uninformed decisions based on their feelings. Gamblers, these are people who just want to escape reality, escape the harsh things of reality. They are people who don't want to be responsible. They want to take the easy way out. That is why I actually have great respect for Mr. Basso even for coming out with a program like this, so that people can be sensitized. Because this program truly will enlighten people about what really gambling is, unlike the gambling that we have known. So when I say that I pity gamblers, yeah, even I myself being a gambler at the time, I realized that my life was so uncertain. Because there could be times where at the moment I'm a richer man, I have a lot of money, then just in a matter of hours, I am broke. I become a beggar from being a bigger boss. So that uncertainty is what made me say I pity gamblers, because truly they are not people who are optimistic about the future. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Mr. Poy, I hope you pretty much understand, and everybody else understands, to say not everyone in this world is a gambler. Yeah, so the other thing is that those non-gamblers, they probably have friends, they've got co-workers, they've got family members who are doing gambling, and they are showing them their successes. Yeah, look, check this out, I've won a 2,000, I've won a 3,000. Yeah, and those people are seeing those things, and they probably are developing the thoughts to say, I think this is a good idea, I should one day give it a try. I should one day give it a try so that I can also be earning the extra income. Yeah, so Mr. Paul, my question now is, what's your advice to these people? Okay? Are you going to tell them to say, go ahead with the idea, you're going to reap the beautiful fruits of gambling and get the extra money that you're looking for, or you're going to tell them, stay away from gambling because it's fire, it's going to bring you together with whatever you possess? Yeah, what's your advice to non-gamblers?
So actually my advice to the non-gamblers is the easier way out is actually the tougher way out. So if you've been thinking of wanting to do gambling, that perhaps you will make a win, I can tell you assuredly that you're going to lose massively, and you go in a state of financial bankruptcy. You have striking debts. Your debts will never end. Your life will be more miserable than it is. If you think that with the little money that you have, your life is miserable, if you start gambling, it will be more miserable. Because most gamblers that I know are miserable people. They are people who who are hiding the reality. They are so losers. Most gamblers that I know, they are losers, but you never hear anyone say or publicate their losses that no, I lost this much, I lost this much. Gamblers are people living in self-denial. That is why you don't even have to take them seriously. Yeah, it might be true, they might show you what they have won, but ask them for the records or check them 3 days later if they are going to still be on that same level or if they will be ahead, if they will improve their financial standings. I tell you, you will even pity them because their conditions will be worse than it was. So my advice to you non-gamblers is don't be lured by such stories. Don't. Yes.
Okay, so some powerful information right there. All right, so I don't know, for this next question that I'm about to ask you right now, it's kind of weighing down heavily on me. I don't exactly know how to say it because just to think of it is kind of suffocating me right now. I don't know, you're watching me right now? You're watching us? Yeah, I'm pretty much sure that right about this moment, somebody might have lost their money. Probably their parents had sent them something to pay for their school fees, but they decided to maybe give it a try, maybe gamble and they multiply that money. And everything that they had received from home is gone right now, and they're thinking of how stupid the move they had made was. And now they don't know the next step to take. They are thinking of how am I going to recover all this money like in this short period of time? Because they understand to say that money is a determinant of their future. That money, their future is dependent on that money. They have to pay for the school fees and sit for the exams. If they don't sit for the exams, they are doomed for the rest of their lives. So they're thinking of how am I going to recover that money? They don't exactly know, and they understand to say their parents, for them to earn that money, took them a lot. Maybe they probably had to get loans and all those things, but they decided to take a foolish step, and right now they're crying and they might be contemplating suicide, thinking of taking their lives because they're not ready to face their parents. Their parents won't probably be happy with them for doing such a senseless move. So, Mr. Paul, you know, like me growing up, I never used to understand people when I hear stories like, someone had bet their house, they had put their whole house on gambling, or money that was spared for renters, they had like used it on gambling and lost it. Things like maybe talk about money that they were supposed to use for food, they had put it on gambling, they lost it. Like every time I hear such stories, I always used to say to myself, to say, how can a full-grown man take such a sensitive step? Like, I used to like somehow laugh at them, you get it right, but with time I somehow began understanding them. Why I used to understanding them now. I want to disclose it. I want to get it from you, Mr. Paul. What you think about these people? Can you call these people who take risks like this, like risks like putting their houses on bets or putting their rentals on bets, whatever school fees and stuff? Can you point blank call them stupid, or there is maybe an excuse to what they do? Maybe there is a certain force that they can't exactly like take control of, that is way more powerful than them, that drives them to do those moves. Is there an excuse to that?
Yeah, actually there is an excuse to that. And I'll go in the scientific way. You see, the way our brains are made, there's this hormone. I don't know if it really is it is a hormone, dopamine. It gets released in the brain. What this hormone does to a gambler is that it fills you with that rush of and when you place a bet, it gets this in your head. You feel good, and anticipation of winning a ticket. When you win from gamble, just the anticipation, you haven't yet won, but the anticipation, it feels so good that it starts to compel you into a forceful life of gambling. Yeah, mostly no gamblers start that goal that I'm going to bet my house, I'll bet my car, I'll bet my school fees, I'll bet the money for food. No one does that goal. Everyone starts a sensible gambler, even analyzing the risks involved. But with time, because of the same release of the dopamine, that force, that rush that you feel, it will force you now into a detrimental state of gambling where even if you know that the odds are against you, you still gamble and lose. Because for someone to reach that extent, initially they even know that they are going to lose. And I have also fallen victim to that multiple occasion. Like money I'm supposed to use for important stuff, I put on gambling. Even deep down knowing that I'm going to lose. Why? There's just that force that compels us to gamble. Mostly in your sane states, you can be saying, no, put in gambling there, gambling everything. No, I'm a responsible gambler. But I'm telling you, when you have the money in your hands, you won't even realize how that money will disappear due to gambling. So, I wouldn't call such people necessarily foolish. But again, I would call them foolish for continuing living their lives in that state of gambling. Because you need to realize, and I say I'll call them foolish is because they fail to accept the reality. The reality is that the world doesn't revolve around us. In as much as we think that we are going to win, in as much as we are optimistic, but we need to realize that reality surely doesn't revolve around us. This is not a movie or an anime. No, it is real life, and the betting companies they have made schemes that will make people lose. At the end of the day, the betting companies will be making a profit. Regardless, you might win, but them they are never in a loss. They have made those things, they have designed them in a way that the odds are not in the favor of the people. So for a person to continue in gambling, it would just show their foolishness. So to some extent, I might say they are foolish if they continue living in that state of gambling, if they fail to realize after losing so much. But if they are in the moment, they are not really foolish, because it's a force that's compelling them. You see, gambling is addictive. It's addictive in nature. It's a very bad force. You can say I've stopped gambling, but when you have money, you won't realize how you finish it. So in a way, they are foolish, and again in another way, they are not. I don't know. Maybe it's not that clear.
It's actually clear. Yeah. Thank you so much for your response. All right. So, Mr. Poe, in a situation where you've been granted the responsibility to advocate for the banning of gambling, since you've said so much negative things about it, you are given that responsibility to advocate for the banning of gambling. It might be at the country level, continental level, worldwide. Yeah. Can you take up that duty of advocating for the banning of gambling? Or you decline from it? What stance would you take?
Personally, I would be among the frontiers of the people who would be for banning gambling. Gambling has done more harm than it has done good. That is the reality. In gambling, it's only very few people that make it, like the likes of magnates, people who have knowledge about the gambling. But for most of the youths, it's really not helping us. It's not in our favor. So I would be among those who are against gambling, those who say, please close these betting sites. Yes, that's my take on the matter.
All right. So, I believe, let me say, a number of gamblers that I've come across, there's one biggest lie that almost all of them tell. Yeah, someone might say, no, I've stopped gambling, I've quit gambling. yeah, maybe after winning their like their biggest win, yeah, having their biggest win, they would say, no, I've earned capital now. I'm just going to start a business. I'll no longer be doing the gambling. Yeah, or sometimes it happens when they have their biggest losses. Yeah, when they have their biggest losses, they are like, I know this thing is holding me back. It's not taking me anywhere. I'm going to stop gambling. But the sad thing is that later on, like maybe after a few weeks or after a few months, you find that these people are back to gambling again. So my question now, Mr. Poe, is that is it possible for not just a gambler, but for an addicted gambler to quit gambling? Is it possible?
If I am to answer that, I can say 99% it's not possible for a person to quit gambling. Not just any person, an addicted gambler. Someone who has faced major losses. It will not be easy for them to quit gambling. Because, like I said, these people, they fail to accept reality. You see, that is why it will be difficult. They might say that they have stopped gambling. Why? Because they are just in depression, or they don't want you to confront them and tell them, look, what you are doing is bad. Look at the state you are in. Gamblers don't want that. I don't know, they feel stigmatized, hence they just tend to keep most of the things to themselves. But when they lose, they will publicly say, no, I've stopped gambling, I've stopped gambling, I've stopped gambling. But deep down their hearts, they are in denial. So the gamblers, they are in denial. And what was the question? It was
Is it possible for an addicted gambler?
An addicted gambler. Yeah, it's not possible. It cannot be possible if the addicted gambler realizes and wants to. He offers his life. He opens up. He or she opens up and seeks professional help. And if it is religious help, that is the only way they can stop gambling. But unfortunately, very few reach to such conclusions. Very few. So I would say it's impossible. Yes.
All right. So last question is, right now there should be a person somewhere crying to say, look at my friends right now, like how they are doing. They probably have vehicles, they have nice watches, they're putting on nice clothes and stuff. And look at me, the clothes I'm wearing, and they're worn out. Like the shoes I'm wearing, and I'm not looking too good, and all those things. I'm supposed to be having the money and the properties that my friends have, even more. But look at me right now, like where gambling has put me. This person like has been trying to quit gambling for a really long time, but unfortunately, it hasn't been possible. Like maybe they've been crying over it, they've been praying over it, but it hasn't been working out for them. So, Mr. Paul, my question right now, which I believe even like a lot of other people who are like in that state are seeking from a lot of, maybe they've been doing researches, they've been asking people around, how can I quit gambling? So, Mr. Paul, right now, I want you to give me and to give the rest of the people who are watching that right now a formula or a pattern that one is supposed to follow in order to quit gambling.
In order to quit gambling, it will require a strong will by the person who wants to quit gambling. Because you won't quit naturally, or rather, you won't quit easily. It has become a habit, and the habits are very much hard to break. So, for you to quit that, you really need to be responsible. You need to man up and accept the reality. You accept that truly in gambling, you are just taking chances. And by taking chances, odds are that, or rather probability is that you will just be at the same level, or you will even be worse. So, if at all you want to quit gambling, like I said, you seek professional help, you open up to people. It can be parents, friends, relatives, or even classmates, just you open up to them, you tell them this is my nature, this is what I'm dealing with. Because believe me, gamblers they are people with anxiety, depression, mental disorder issues. I'm telling you, a lot of gamblers have got mental disorder issues. It might not show, but deep down they are suffering. And when that suffering goes out of hand, even suicidal thoughts start coming. And others even end up killing themselves. So a pattern that one can take is take responsibility, develop a good financial plan, or rather have someone be the custodian of your money, because gambling addiction is not an easy thing to stop. So maybe someone is keeping your money. Whenever you have money, you are responsible. You are not even lying. Just become open-minded about it. It's like you have that weakness, but the moment you have the money, you give to that person. Oh, please keep for me. If I want it, don't give me. Yeah, like that. You can at least keep some of the edges to gamble.
Right, thank you so much, Mr. Paul. It's been a wonderful chat with you. It's been a wonderful interview. I've learned a lot of things from you, and I believe the viewers have also learned a lot from you. So I'm just looking forward to having another interview with you, because this has been really wonderful and really educative. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basu. It really is a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure of mine. It was a pleasure of mine.